UFP, the United Federation of Podcasts.
Engage.
78 years have passed since the days of the original USS Enterprise. Now a new Galaxy starship has been designed.
Transporter Chief, beam our listeners aboard. Welcome, everyone, to Galaxy Class A Star Trek The Next Generation podcast on the United Federation of Podcasts Network. I am Diplomatic Standard and Merriment Bearer Kevin Scharf. With us today are Counselor Amy Nelson, who is getting ready for her shore leave, and the former head of footwear procurement, Joe Keegan. Welcome, lady and gentlemen.
Hello, hello. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Amy. Hi, Kevin.
Hello. Sorry we had to fire you from procuring the footwear, Joe, but you just weren't very good at that job.
I will explain. So, last weekend, I ran a 10K or 6.22 miles in 48 minutes and 45 seconds, which isn't my fastest time, but it's the fastest time this year, because I was like 2020 was just lost to me exercise-wise. So, I went for the look of the trainer, yeah? Nice kind of light neon blue, thinking they'll make me run fast. So I bought them from Amazon because all our shoe shops are closed, so you can't even go and try anything on. So I got them and I wore them out in my run. And then I was like, these are really uncomfortable, like super. I might as well have run barefoot because there was no cushion.
Ouch.
There was no Nike Air Max. We are floating in a cloud of air, essentially. Then I come home and check the Amazon listing, and it says they're barefoot trail running shoes, so they're supposed to feel like you don't have any shoes on.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh, and I've hammered my skeleton to shrapnel now.
How did you buy them and not read the reviews, especially like running shoes? You got to try them on. I'm impressed that you even bought them online in the first place.
I just it's Amazon. But I like them, so I'll keep them for like being about the house or I don't know, going to work or whatever. But I'm going to have to invest some money in buying a new pair of proper running shoes.
Can I recommend Brooks?
Brooks. You can.
Have you heard of Brooks?
I have not.
They are an amazing running shoe.
If we get them over here, that is.
Well, if you're ordering online, just order online, Joe.
I know, but it's different.
I'm telling you, Brooks will change your life.
It sounds like a running shoe for the over 70s, to be honest, like a Saga Cruise.
It's only because you're unfamiliar. Ask any runner over here and they know of Brooks.
Okay. Do you have a pair, Amy?
I do. I do own a pair, yes.
See,
The last time...
over 70s.
Oh.
What were you saying? What were you saying, Kevin?
Walked into that
the
one.
last time I went to buy
Boom.
a pair of athletic shoes, not that I'm athletic at all, but I went to the local outlet mall, and I was very distraught to find that the Nike outlet was gone. Just packed up and moved away. I'm like, I need shoes. What do I... So I bought Reeboks instead. They're fine, but they just don't feel the same as my Nikes did. So...
They're so expensive for what you get. It's literally just like molded plastic and foam.
Well,
and
I go to the back of
juices.
the outlet store where the
couldn't be
leftovers
simple.
are, and everything is like 70% off. So I can get a pair of Nikes for like $30, which is a pretty good deal these days.
Do you just take what you can get then, Kevin? Like
I am
it
not
might
an
be
athlete.
A men's size 10
Well, I only
Nike
take an
and
8.5, so I
a
wouldn't
size
be buying
4
a 10.
women's Reebok. Oh,
But
okay. Well, that's all you can
no,
get.
they do have them divided by size, but
Well, I am starting my spring break. So, yes, going on my shore leave. Very excited. So I have the next week and 1 day. So I get all of next week, and then we have Easter, and then I get the Monday
Easter
off.
Monday?
Good Monday?
Yeah.
Or no, that's called Good
Easter
Friday.
Monday.
Easter Monday.
I don't know what Monday is.
Good Monday. Better Monday, yeah.
Well, it's because there's a Good Friday. I didn't know.
True.
And so, yes, and my students are slowly but surely coming back. So we should have all of them that have chosen to come. And I'm saying a fifth of the students in my school have decided to come back in person. The rest are choosing to stay online. So I will be teaching students sitting in my classroom as well as those online.
Oh, do you have to do both?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No. Our unions, like all the teaching unions in Scotland, basically said, no, you're not doing that. Teachers get paid to teach and do one job, and that is the job in the classroom. So don't stream lessons. Don't post work to kids that are still at home.
Oh,
it's not what you get paid
I wish
for.
our union would have, done something.
Unions are big over here.
Yeah, they're not so much in the West. In the East, they are. Things diluted out in the West, and it's bad.
Kevin, what did you buy this week?
Well, I have decided, everyone knows that I've been doing Santa for the last few years, and I really love interacting with kids, and I'm trying to figure out a way that I could keep doing that and not look super creepy. So I have taken up clowning, which is a little bit creepy itself, but, it's less creepy than just some weird middle-aged man talking to 5-year-olds in a parking lot. So I went and bought clown supplies yesterday. I got a new nose and some makeup, and I'm very excited. And not next week, the week after Easter, I am attending an online clown convention. So I am very excited. It should be fun. It was supposed to be an in-person convention in Niagara Falls, New York, but the border is closed and nobody can gather, so it's all been moved online. So I was hoping to meet people. This will be a little bit different, but it was less expensive and I don't need to rent a hotel room. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully I can expand my comedy horizons in the future.
Yes, I'm very excited for you and this fun adventure that you are going on, and just kudos to you, first of all, props. But I am very curious. I've seen a picture of your nose. Listeners, if you haven't, it's definitely out there, and you will.
I will make sure that that this week's screenshot is got the nose.
Yeah. So are there different shapes of noses? Does each nose have its personality? And how did you decide on that specific nose?
Well, the noses are different. There are different size noses for people with different size noses. So my nose is quite narrow and not all that big. So I needed one that was going to fit on my face. So that was the main consideration. And I wanted one that was a little bit bulbous. This one's cute, kind of turned up at the end, and I like it.
Was it like wearing the sorting hat at Hogwarts, where they get put in each different school? Did they say did you wear a hat and it said you're going to wear this nose?
Does the nose choose you?
Yeah.
No, not really. I'm trying to decide what kind of character my clown is too, so I wanted a nose that was going to fit that. Plus, you can get noses in different colors and with sparkles, and you can get big round ones that hold on with string, ones that hold on with glue. So that's why instead of ordering one online, I actually went to a costume store so I could see different ones. Trying things on your nose right now, not a good idea, but I could at least get an idea of if the size and shape was going to work with my face. So. Right. And I took a friend with me who is already a clown. He's a clown mentor, so he's mentoring me and working through this whole process to get this all up and running for me. So I'm quite excited about it. And after the crappy year I've had, it's good to have something to look forward to. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, shall we carry on and check the communications array to see if we have any comments from our listeners?
Logs accessed.
Vera Bible writes, "Great podcast. I love your discussion as Worf is my favorite character. I did not know that, Vera. Thanks for sharing." She continues and says, "I'm currently in the midst of a DS9 rewatch, and some of his treatment of Jadzia does not age well. I enjoyed being reminded of all the things I love about Worf, not least his killer comedic timing. Best straight man in Star Trek. Vera, I completely agree. I just watched for my podcast for All Good Things. I watched, what's the baseball one? Into the Holosuite, or Take Me Out to the Holosuite.
Take Me Out to the Holosuite, yeah.
Oh my gosh, Worf, I was laughing every time he spoke. Death to the opposition. Oh my gosh. Yeah, his one-liners and comedic timing is spot on. Love Worf.
Epic. I missed that episode, didn't I? I didn't do the Worf episode, did I?
Well, I didn't, so you had to have.
You were on the Worf episode. It was you, me, and Rita.
Yes, I was.
Worf character profile.
I remember now. Yeah, if it was before yesterday, I don't necessarily recall it. We have a message from our good friend and listener, Christian Alonso. I really hope you discussed his rapid hair growth.
We talked about how terrible his season 1 haircut was.
Mm-hmm. We did, yes. But when Christian mentions his rapid hair growth, is he maybe alluding to the insurrection? Now, does his hair not grow really fast in insurrection?
No, because we've got between, I would say, season 5 and season 7, it grows quite rapidly. Because you've got 4 is still shoulder just at the neck.
The bob.
And then and then all of a sudden he's got a ponytail in like season 6 and 7. Yeah.
So he's given up his GHD straighteners for his bob, and he's now got some kind of 1980s hair crimpers.
Well, I would think that if sickbay has devices that can stitch bone back together without touching it, there's got to be some device that you can just tap to your follicles and make them explode with hair.
And I guess Picard chooses not to use that.
He is an au naturel type of guy.
Because that would be vain and a bit narcissistic, so it wouldn't be up Picard Street.
But think about it though, like Picard doesn't have any follicles on the top of his head. Neither does Worf. His hair only grows around his ridges, so it's not like he's growing hair out of his bumps.
Yeah.
So that's my headcanon.
Okay.
So moving on, our last episode we talked about our collections, and I just wanted to shout out to our former co-host Pierre Larocco, who posted amazing photos of his action figure collection. If you haven't seen them, check the Federation Council Chambers and see these pictures of his collection. It's fantastic. And also Davis Grayson, he shared some photos as well of things in his collection. Greg Molumby said that he said, I wanted to say something about this episode tonight, so I apologize if it's a double post. I don't believe it was, but thank you for your concern. Great episode on your collections. When you were talking about why you collect memorabilia, I was reminded of the scene in First Contact, the movie, where Picard explains to Data about sentimental value in inanimate objects, like the Phoenix. I'm not a collector, but for me, it's really not about the product, but more about the memories. I keep photos I take from STLV because they're memories of being there. I remember looking at the Star Trek Encyclopedia or the TNG Tech Manual because it shows me what my life was like in that stage of my fandom. I used to think taking photos was a waste of time, but when you think about nostalgia, it is worth it. I think my collection is the 2 books I mentioned above, and then Trek on DVD and Blu-ray. It's not really as important now as streaming, but when DS9 came out in 2003, that was an awesome year. Great episode this week.
Absolutely, Greg. I completely agree. And when I look back at my STLV photos, there you are. We had such a fun time. And it's the memories, it's the people that we make, it's your Trek family, and that is the best collection. So thank you for your comment, Greg.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at taking pictures like anywhere. I just don't do it.
Thankfully, you have Ewan because he will take the photos.
Yeah, so if it wasn't for Ewan, I would have no memories of anything, really. Can I come back to Pierre's pictures of his collection? Yeah. So I've got this weird theory that every episode of Star Trek we've seen, like the whole 900 plus hours of Star Trek and all the movies and everything, is basically a documentary about what happens when Pierre goes to bed and his collection comes to life.
I love what Pierre does with his collection. Have you seen he takes photos of action figures and makes them into comic book stories?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So creative.
It's pretty cool.
Well, Davis Grayson does exactly the same thing. And I've followed him for years and his G.I. Joe figures. And he does that micro photography that looks like, because of his scale and proportion and math. So I love that, Davis. Good job. Because it looks like it's, proportional size to the bush that should be a tree,
Right.
And his photography on that. And then he creates all of his models as well and does the painting and stuff. So Davis is seriously a collector and creator of his collection set. Yeah,
It's very cool.
it is. All right, we have Chris Tribuzio right in the nick of time. I hope this will make it on the next recording. Well, it did. Good job. I can't help but think that for me, the most cherished for me will be the friendships I've made at conventions through podcasting and social media. Well, Chris, thanks. I am the beneficiary of one of those friendships that you have made at conventions and other stuff.
I just didn't realize that Tribs was such a softie, and that he would say something so sweet and sentimental.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he totally is, though.
He is.
He looks like could throw you down a football field, but he is such a nice guy.
Well, thanks everyone who commented this week. Please keep it coming. We love sharing your messages with the podcast. Speaking of which, let's get into our main topic this week, which is the next Batleth battle, In Theory versus Remember Me.
This is the captain. Senior officers will report to my ready room immediately.
Now, like last time, I posted a poll to the Federation Council Chambers before we recorded, so we got some feedback pre-recording, which is great, and I will reveal the results of the listener poll when we get to our vote section. But let's talk about let's just go through some of the comments that people made on that thread while we're here.
Paul Wright Jr. says, "This may be the best Batleth battle yet. 2 episodes I know well and have seen many times. I have to go with Remember Me due to Gates' performance." Just want you to go through them, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'm wondering, because Kevin, you said you would reveal the results. I'm wondering if these comments might reveal a little bit of the results beforehand, because Paul obviously is voting for Remember Me. Stuart McElwain says, both are great episodes, but Remember Me has always been a particular favorite of mine. All right, Stuart, I can hear where you are leaning.
Casey Pettitt also said he had to go with Remember Me. In Theory is just too sad. Plus, Remember Me gave us a great existential quote. And Stuart replied to Casey saying, if you're referring to the quote, I think you are. I use that all the time. It's one of my favorites.
Pierre LaRocco says, In Theory is a much better episode than Remember Me. Remember Me is boring.
I've never heard Remember Me described as boring. So here, very interesting take. I can almost see where you're coming from.
So it's not unanimous, is what we're saying.
Yeah. Jim McMahon gives us the quote, if there's nothing wrong with me, then there must be something wrong with the universe. That's not the exact line, but it's one of the best Beverly quotes ever. Yes, Jim, it is a great quote, so thank you.
Is that like the most... What's the quote from Picard? Like, hubris, can't use the word that went before it. Is that not just, if there's nothing wrong with me, then there must be something wrong with the universe?
Right, there you go.
So
There's
your hubris. Yeah.
There's your hubris.
Well, she had done all the tests. We'll get into that. So why don't we start by talking about In Theory, which is season 4, episode 25. Would someone like to do a brief recap of In Theory? Who would like to take that?
I will.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
All right.
on you go.
We'll see how good I can get this. This is the episode where Data writes a subroutine to date Jenna, who has a tendency to fall for unavailable, unemotional men, and choosing Data totally fits that. It's a fun little adventure, and Data gets to go around asking advice, not from the best of people like Worf or Geordi, but we do get to see, I think, the cultural norms and the faux pas that he gets into as he's going through this dating experience. I can't remember what the B plot is on this. I mean, there's something.
The B plot is like the best part of the story. The rest is trash.
Remind me.
The B plot is they found a dark matter nebula and they've gone to investigate it. And
things keep knocking and
falling through tables.
Yeah, falling off and.
Yeah, things keep knocking. What kind of a description is that? Pockets of dark matter intersect the ship and cause those parts of the ship to temporarily phase, so that objects will kind of fall through parts of the ship, or like your tricorder would fall through your table.
One of the creepiest moments is when who was walking down I think it was Geordi and Data are walking down a corridor and they hear someone scream and they run back and the woman is phased halfway through the floor.
Halfway through, yeah.
Okay. So what happens there is Geordi and 2 engineering crew are going to investigate an issue on some deck somewhere.
I knew it was Geordi.
And he's given instructions to them and says to this woman, go down there and investigate this thing. And she goes down there and they walk by and she screams and then they run back, go around the corner, and she's phased through the floor and she died instantaneously. It's gruesome.
Okay, so I'm just going to do a shameless plug. You know, I do another podcast on the Union Federation podcast, and that talks about the Orville. And we just talked about Priya. And in that episode, they have to take the Orville through these pockets of dark matter to save the ship. And it just reminded me of that. And so now we have the Orville, the special effects when they're going through, it really looks like dark matter pockets. I mean, if we could see it, because we didn't really get to see that in TNG. But on the Orville, they take that. I mean, and we know Seth MacFarlane is a TNG fan and executes it in his show, The Orville. I think that's brilliant. I know it has nothing to do, but I am, finding these connections.
No, it's great.
And I love it.
I still haven't started watching The Orville yet, so I know
you really
I
should. Priya is a great episode too.
I will. Well, let's talk about guest stars, and I really think we can't talk about this episode without talking about the actress who plays Jenna DeSora, who's Michelle Scarabelli. She's a Canadian actress, so big ups for Canada. She's from Montreal originally. I know her best from the TV show Alien Nation. She played the mom who was the head of the family on Alien Nation in the early 90s. I loved that show.
I think I remember that. Oh my!
Remember they were the
gosh,
aliens with
blast
the
from the past.
weird heads. Yeah. So.
Wow.
I'm sure she was.
And they like to drink sour milk.
Yes. Sour milk made them drunk. Yeah, right. It was their alcohol.
Wow.
Yeah. I loved that show. It was a really great show. It was a show about immigration because all these alien visitors were forced to integrate into early 90s Los Angeles. Yeah, it was a great show. And also the actor who ended up playing who was the Vulcan on Enterprise, the Vulcan ambassador, the Vulcan Gary
Oh, yeah.
He was the human cop that her husband was partnered with. It's gone. I can look it up. In fact, I think all of the leads on Alien Nation had been on Star Trek at one time or another. Let me see. Yeah. So Gary Graham played Detective Matt Sykes, and of course he on Star Trek was Soval, Ambassador Soval on Enterprise. Then his partner was played by Eric Pierpoint, who was on Star Trek as Ambassador Voval in the episode Liaisons of Next Generation, and he played Captain Sanders in the episode For the Uniform. That was the episode where Cisco went after Commander Eddington, and there was the whole Javert, and he was the other Starfleet captain in that episode. He's also done a Voyager and an Enterprise. He did 5 episodes of Enterprise as well. So like everybody who was on Alien Nation was on Star Trek. But Michelle Scarabelli played Susan Francisco, and she was amazing on that show.
We got Keiko as well.
We did have Keiko.
She's in it briefly, playing the clarinet. And I don't know who Pamela Winslow is. She played the Helm officer. I don't know her from anything else. So.
All right.
So we had a few guests, even though really this was a we don't need to get off the ship episode. It was really a bottle episode for the show, right?
Absolutely. I have real problems with this episode and the whole Data relationship. I watched it this morning, and it's just super cringy.
Really? Why?
Yeah. It makes me feel so uncomfortable. It's like Desora's whole reason for existence was to have a relationship with a man. What's that rule?
It's that one. The test.
The Bechdel test.
Test.
And I know it doesn't. The Bechdel test says that you can pass
when
it
two or more women.
Yeah, have a discussion.
Conversation.
Not about a man. And I know she never talks to anybody, but her whole thing is going from Jeff's relationship to Data to whoever the next one is.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from the fact that she's in Starfleet and she's a really accomplished officer.
And she's in security, I think. Didn't Worf say, she was working with Data in engineering, but...
I didn't understand that either.
No,
I know she's wearing yellow.
I can explain.
Okay, Joe.
They are reconfiguring a photon torpedo.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's right.
Which falls under Worf's security department, tactical defense. So that's really... You also see her manning the tactical station.
Oh, right.
At one point towards the end. So definitely security.
Now, I know what you're saying about her relationships and her, but I'm going to give it a bit of a pass because she does make the decision at the end to end the relationship. She comes to the self-realization that I'm falling into this same trap that I fell into before. I need to stop this, and I'm going to stop it now. So while, yes, I agree that she's really there, I mean, let's face it, the episode is about Data. So she's there as a plot device for Data, but she's the one who makes the decision to stop the relationship as well. So I've got to give her a bit of a pass there.
Okay, so I have 2 comments because you both have said stuff that I want to comment on. So first, Joe, I agree with you. It is cringeworthy. And when I look at Jenna, the one time that I literally roll my eyes so hard, my contacts pop out. It annoys me when media portrays women of saying one thing and doing another. That, and especially in relationships. And so when she goes to visit Data to give him that structure,
weird sculpture,
statue, whatever, that sculpture, and she's like, well, I'll let you get back to what you were doing. And so he goes back to painting, and then she stands there and is hurt. I'm like, why are you hurt? You just told him that you wanted him to go back. Oh, Data, when a woman says this, it's not really what she means. Okay, why in the heck is everyone so confused? Because women are saying this and doing... It annoys the crap. And I'm like, you cannot fault that person if they do not know your intents. And that annoys me hands down about how women do that. And it very cringeworthy.
Does that not bring us to the worst quote in all of Star Trek? Like the Book of Love, page 17, paragraph 44 or whatever she says. And I'm like, it's just nobody would say that ever. No.
Yeah.
It's just horrible.
This is true. I got, watching it this time, I got like WandaVision flashes from it, because it's sort of like we're creating this fake reality, because really for Data, it doesn't mean anything because he has no emotions. So he's just sort of putting on this, hi honey, I'm home, I'm doing wacky sitcom shenanigans. And I think, and you were going to like this comment, Amy, I think the best advice he got was from Troy, who said, you are playing with a person's emotions. You need to be very, very careful.
Yeah. That scene with Troy and Data is just gold. And I remember of hearing Marina comment in conventions and what have you that she and Brent Spiner did not get a lot of scene time together. Like there just wasn't a reason for Troy and Data to have scenes together. And so this one just really popped out because I could hear Marina saying, oh, it was so fun when I got to work with Brent. And I could just imagine the fun and back and forth that they had off screen. So yeah, it was sound counseling advice. Again, Counselor Troy doing her job that everyone seems to forget whenever they make random comments. Troy never counseled. Ugh.
No, Troy is good at her job. She really is. I've always said that.
And I, in my headcanon, do believe that Jenna has been working with Troy. And that's when Jenna realized, oh, I was thinking that your being around and talking to me was enough, but I know that I need more and that you are unable to give that. I think that whole realization came through Troy. At least that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
See Data's program for this relationship that he's just come up with. Why does it use such weird language like lovers quarrel? Who has ever heard anybody say lovers quarrel?
Well, he's read about it in texts that examine romantic literature.
Like from when? Like the 1800s or whatever.
I've used that before.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't,
common
Amy.
nomenclature. Come on.
So you and
or we're having a fight, or we're having an argument, but not we're having a lovers quarrel.
I think it's used more often in new relationships than long-term ones. So maybe you're just part of an old married couple now, Joe. So you don't have lovers quarrels anymore.
Nobody, if you were in a relationship, nobody would ever say lovers quarrel. Not in 2021, not in 1990. Like, then there's the bit makes me feel uncomfortable is when he's angry in that lovers quarrel bit. You're not my mother. Really? Is he 16?
Yeah.
Then
but he has no
honey,
frame of
I'm
reference.
I know, but where's he getting his...
I Love Lucy.
The linguistic database for this program that he's made?
Lucille Ball was very vital to the creation of Star Trek, so he's been watching Lucy reruns.
Yeah, a way back then. Then when he says, asks her what she wants to drink, he's like, I'll join you.
It was so it was cringy.
Stop being like, it was hot. Yeah.
That's why this episode works, is because Brent Spiner, in his brilliance of portraying each of these little snippets of a sitcom lover's quarrel, as you put it, like every scenario has been done. Like I literally could say, yep, I know a girlfriend that has used that tactic. Intentionally got in a fight so that they could make up. Like all of those tactics I have seen in real life. And it's funny, Joe, that you're saying, who does this? I literally can name names of people who have gone through those different scenarios. It's hilarious. Like intentionally, like at the beginning when they're talking to Miles and Keiko and she like reaches over and, you know, grabs his arm and, oh, Data does stuff like that. I mean, that's all a tactic. It's all these moves in this game.
That was a scene I wanted to talk about. The scene in 10 Forward with the O'Briens, where Data is sitting there stock still like Data does, and Jenna is just all over him. And at this point, there's no, like, he's just been nice to her. You know, as creepy as Data is later, I found that quite creepy on the part of Jenna to just invade Data's personal space like that in front of, and it felt like Jenna was friends with the O'Briens. Like, these are people that maybe hang out together and, I don't know, play cards or well, I mean, they're in the ensemble
Go to the
together.
holodeck or whatever.
Go on double dates.
Well, they play flute and oboe duets or flute and clarinet duets together. So for her to be so forward with Data, you know, it's subtle yet forward. I was feeling a little cringe from her there. And so when it got reversed and she was the recipient of the cringe, I don't know if I felt... I don't know if I want to say that it was sort of, I mean, she brought it on herself. Like, Data wouldn't have even thought about entering a relationship with someone if she hadn't been draping herself over
Made
her
that
like
first
a Bond,
move.
over him like a Bond girl does. You know?
And I think that's why I don't like it, because it portrays this what should be like a strong, independent woman in a role where she's kind of subservient to a man, and that's all she needs to fulfill her life. I think that's what I got from it, which is why I didn't like it. The B storyline for me was awesome. I love the whole dark matter sciencey, investigating the nebula
And
thing.
Picard telling Riker off, I am going to pilot the shuttlecraft.
I didn't get, that's the one issue I had with the B plot, Picard piloting the shuttlecraft. It seemed a bit hokey.
Well, I think part of that is because Patrick Stewart directed this episode, and so he needed to, I'm going to feature myself in a scene all alone, or maybe, I don't know, but, you know, Picard really wasn't in the episode all that much, so.
True.
So is there importance to Star Trek canon in theory? What have we learned?
Well, I was just recording on All Good Things, and there is a very similar episode in Voyager called, I just forgot. You know, the singing one where they're teaching Seven to be dating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Someone to watch
Okay.
over me. Whew. Yes. And so we've got Voyager's take on Seven learning how to date. And so I couldn't help, because we were talking about it at the same time, to compare and contrast the two. And I really do like Data's, and I like the TNG version better. I think that it was more believable, and especially at the end where Data's like, well, I don't need this. I'm going to delete this subroutine. Thanks for playing type of thing. You know, and that in itself lends itself to episodic TV. Like, it explains why we don't ever hear about Data dating again, right? It's been deleted. I think with the Voyager one, it's like there's still issues there. And 7 of 9 is a Borg. It's not like she can delete a program. I mean, the Doctor could. It doesn't look like that the Doctor did. But that whole idea of fish out of water, what do I do in this dating situation? I think we see that in Voyager. So I think there is some importance to, in theory, for that reason.
I haven't watched the Voyager episode in such a long time, but I recall it, and I think in terms of the relationship, I prefer the Voyager one, just because of the cringeworthiness of Data and Jenna.
Mm-hmm.
One character we haven't talked about who does make an appearance and is important to Star Trek canon is Guinan. We do get a Guinan and Data scene in this episode, which is kind of nice. It doesn't really lead to much, but
Oh, that's the one with the green drink. Oh, yeah. That's 78% sodium brandy.
Yes.
78% brandy.
That's a lot of brandy.
She thinks it's delicious. That's like just a big giant glass of brandy.
Yeah.
With a tiny bit of mixer.
Yep.
It's going to be lethal.
Yeah. So, I mean, we do have that. The Nebula plotline really doesn't go anywhere in the future.
No.
This is the last time we see this Spot. Spot becomes a different cat after this episode.
A Somali cat, doesn't it?
And this is the first episode Patrick Stewart directed. So, those are important things, I guess. But
when is The Outcast?
When is
Season 6?
Season 6. Okay, so I suppose this is the first time we see a dark matter nebula, and the next time is in The Outcast, isn't it?
Interesting things in theory. So let's move on to Remember Me, and let's start with a bit of a summary. Joe, can you wrap up Remember Me in a few words?
Okay, so Dr. Crusher has her wee old friend, Dr. Dalen Quace, come on board, who's a lovely wee old, he looks like a wee old country doctor. Yeah, just a lovely wee old man. And I was thinking, what age is that actor when they filmed this? Because he looks like he's in his 70s, potentially. But in TNG years, that probably means he's like 250. Possibly. Anyways, Dr. Dalen Quace goes missing. And they can't find him anywhere on the ship. He's not died. They can't even find any records of him having ever served in Starfleet or been a doctor. He just doesn't exist. And then other people start to go missing. Dr. Crusher's medical staff go missing. Nobody can explain it. Nobody's ever heard of anybody. Dr. Crusher thinks she's going a bit insane. Then more and more people start going missing. It turns out there's never been a crew on the ship, and it's just Beverly and Captain Picard voyaging through the Milky Way.
And all completely normal.
All completely normal. Yeah, that's fine. This big giant ship.
We're out here by ourselves.
Yeah, we've never needed anybody in the past. So, turns out there's something wrong with the universe because Beverly's perfectly sane. Now, what has happened is that Wesley was performing static warp bubble experiments in engineering. And when he was doing that, Beverly came to visit him in engineering, and she got trapped in a static warp bubble. So she created her very own little mini universe, which was collapsing. So that's why people were disappearing. And then she figured out, she scienced the hell out of it, and she figured out that she had to go to some kind of spatial distortion and jump through it, and then she landed in the real engineering. The end.
Mm-hmm. This show doesn't have a B plot. This is all A plot.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to be right up front and say that this is one of my all-time favorite episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I've always loved this episode. So let's talk about it in detail a little more then. So let's talk about guest stars. There's two, really, Dr. Dalen Quace, and the big one, the Traveler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is only the second time we've seen the Traveler. And this episode lends more credence to Rhea's theory that Jack Crusher might have been the Traveler, because the Traveler comes running when Beverly is in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That is true.
I thought of that today. I mean, and I know part of it is that Wesley is very important to them, but it took Beverly being trapped in another universe for the Traveler to come back again. Is he Jack Crusher?
Huh.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. That was a great theory that Rhea has. And it's obviously has merit, because I agree that moment, because Beverly in her universe is getting to Omicron Theta. Is that where he's at?
Tau
Tau.
Ceti.
Tau. Yeah, that one. Yes. Talsetti. And so she's searching him in her universe and literally like trying to get the ship there. And then we've got Wesley in his universe reaching out to him. And so, yeah, he's coming back. And I'm choosing to believe that it is to save Beverly.
It can't be anything else now. It's embedded in our head
Wesley's
canon.
looking for him.
Mm-hmm. But like a subspace message would take far too long to get to Tau Ceti C, wouldn't it? So the Traveller just knows that Beverly's in trouble, so comes to the rescue. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I think the way that they did this show where you're not quite sure what's going on because in Beverly's universe, there's engineering and there's Wesley. And then in Wesley's universe, there's engineering and they're trying to get his mom out. Like they blend it so well. It's like it's just this dance between the two universes that is so perfectly executed in this episode.
On this rewatch, I realized how well they had set everything up in the beginning. When Beverly goes to engineering to see Wesley because of the conversation she'd had with Dr. Quays, they show Beverly and Wesley. Then they cut to Wesley working on his experiment. Then you just hear a ping, and Beverly's gone. You just assume she's left the room, but she hasn't. That was the moment where she was taken. And it's all right there in the first episode after the credits.
The first act, yeah. Like, and it's just like, oh, they cut to a different scene, you know? We don't need to see Beverly leaving engineering. It just, you know.
It's the way television works.
And open to a different scene. And you would never think that Beverly is gone in this static warp bubble.
And the opposite scene happens where I think it was still in engineering and Wesley disappears.
Yes. Well, they walk out of engineering together and she's having a conversation with him.
That's right.
And he doesn't respond and she turns around and he's gone.
Yeah. That is chilling. Like that's the one that scared me. I was scared.
The similar one is when she's sitting on the bridge with Captain Picard at the end and the computer's
Monitoring
reading out his vital signs. Yeah, and then they just stop and he's not there anymore. I
wouldn't have taken my eyes off of him. Like you are going to stare into my eyes for the rest of our life, Jean-Luc, if we're the only two people in the universe.
Yeah. Staring contest begins now.
What else do we need to talk? Important to Star Trek canon, or do we need to talk any more about the guest stars?
Well, Bill Irwin, who sadly died in 2010, he was 76, I think, when this was filmed.
Mm-hmm.
And Bill Irwin is the Traveler?
No, Dr. Quays.
Oh, Dr. Quays. Okay.
Eric Menyak plays the Traveler.
No, this definitely has major importance to Star Trek canon, of course, with the Traveler. And what I love that TNG did was it was 3 years later because we saw the Traveler in season 1. And now we're season 4. I mean, that's 3 years to try and throw a throwback, you know? Like, you just didn't do that in that type of TV 3 years ago. Plus, you're on syndication, right? So a lot of the viewers probably missed it, right? Especially if they're coming in at season 4, where we picked up a lot of viewers starting season 3. So I bet we had a whole bunch of people going, what happened here? And then scrambling and trying to watch what happened in season 1. I don't know. It would be interesting, listeners, if any of you had that happen to you. But then we fast forward 3 years in the future, where we see the Traveler again in season 7. So we've got this Remember Me that's the middle point of this Traveler trilogy, I guess you could say. It's a nice stopping point to learn about the Traveler and his species.
I suppose after people watched this episode, there might have been a run on the VHS tape at Blockbuster, so people could encounter at Farpoint just to find out who the traveller is.
Sidebar, did you see that Blockbuster documentary?
I have not watched that.
No.
The last Blockbuster?
Oh, there's still one left, isn't there?
Yeah, in Oregon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's very good if you have a chance. It's either on HBO Max
on Netflix,
or
I
Netflix.
think.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Netflix, yeah.
I worked in Blockbuster for like a week.
Oh.
It was my first job.
I had many a Friday night in Blockbuster.
Just hanging out, or
Yes,
we
were literally there just walking through the aisles. I mean, it was the thing you did in the 90s.
Just picking up tapes and putting them back down. Nah, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah.
Oh, let's rent Raiders of the Lost Ark again.
so spoiled,
Star Trek
man.
2.
There was literally a time, I think it was the movie U-571, something about a submarine. So watched it the first time, literally rented it 2 more additional times, not knowing that I've seen it. Okay, once would have been fine. We rented it the second time, me and my roommate, and put it in. It's like, haven't we seen this? Oh my gosh, we rented this last month. Totally laughed about it. Not a month later goes by. We went to the Blockbuster. This looks interesting. Literally rented it again. Put it in, and it was like, are you kidding me?
Nobody
It
at
was
Blockbuster
hilarious.
checked your account to see that this was the third time you rented it.
They're like, oh, you're renting this again? They
Poor
should
customer
have.
service.
'Cause that's crazy.
First movie rentals for us as a family. I was maybe about 10, younger than that, possibly. It wasn't even a Blockbuster. It was the wee local. Was it a Global Video, or was it before Global? And it was a Betamax. It wasn't even a VHS machine.
Oh, Betamax, yeah.
And we rented Big Trouble in Little China and Conan the Barbarian.
Wow.
Yeah. That was our first movies, like going to the cinema in your house.
Yeah. We rented.
Sorry.
Oh
for
yeah.
the
Well, I'm
tangent.
going to go with mine. We used to rent videos.
Okay.
From
Yes,
a
Kevin.
little variety store called Robbie's Variety. I remember we rented a VCR like a year before we got one of our own for March break, because my mom used to babysit local kids too. So we rented a VCR for the week and got a bunch of like old Disney movies like Herbie the Love Bug and The Happiest Millionaire, stuff like that. And then we got our own VCR, and I remember going to this electronics store with my dad, and it became a decision of, do we take a family vacation to Florida or do we buy a VCR? That's how expensive they were at the time.
They were, yeah. We rented them. I mean, that was part of renting VHS. You had to get the VHS player, and so you're walking out, and most of the time it was like the grocery store. It was before.
Yep. Like I said, it was a little
and
corner
we've got
store
this
convenience shop
huge
that we
thing.
used to get ours
Yeah.
at. But
Yeah, so there's a little remembering for
remember me.
Oh, yes.
I had a VHS machine as a teenager where the stickers that you write on the side of the VHS tape, the stickers had a chip embedded in them, and you could wave the chip in front of the VCR and it would come up on screen of what was on the tape.
Oh.
I don't believe you.
Yes, it was a Sony proprietary thing. I'll send you a link.
Sounds like 24th century.
That was very cool.
We're going way off on tangents here now. Do you remember
VCR? Let's go.
VCR Plus? Remember when you wanted to record something off of television? You had to like Tuesday 12:53.
Yep.
And then
It took forever to set the time.
And then they invented VCR Plus. And when you looked at your TV guide, there was like a 6 or 8 digit code number. You just had to punch the code number into your VCR, and it
would automatically, yes. I remember setting up the time with the TV guide. It took at least 10
every
minutes.
week you would get the TV guide and highlight it so that you could go and set your VCR.
Exactly.
And you bought 8-hour videotapes just to make sure you got everything you could on one tape. But Star Trek. So we're saying we've got good guest stars in The Traveler and importance to canon because of The Traveler. Anything more we need to say about Remember Me?
It's a brilliant Beverly episode.
She did all her own stunts in this episode. And a week after she filmed it, she learned she was pregnant.
Oh, that's right.
So hanging
with Wesley.
With Wesley, who was her co-star on the show.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
I think this Remember Me has more importance because it is a Beverly episode and she doesn't have a lot of Beverly Let Beverly Shine episodes where Data has them every season left and right. So I think that sort of separates that and makes it more special.
I agree. So let's move on then to the debate here. And I think that is a major key. When you compare Beverly episodes to Data episodes, this is a good Data episode, but it's when you think of Data episodes, you think of The Offspring, you think of Brothers, you think of all of the Measure of a Man. When you think of Beverly episodes, you think of Remember Me and Sub Rosa.
Okay,
and
so
Cause and Effect.
Yeah. See, if we're judging it on which is the best character episode, then it has to be Remember Me. Because if this is the best Beverly episode, then in theory is, for me, the worst Data episode. That whole A storyline just doesn't work for me in the slightest. It just makes me feel uncomfortable. I love the science aspects of In Theory, but Remember Me has similar science aspects, so they're kind of, on a sciencey level, they're kind of balanced out. But Beverly nails it in this.
And she is so good in this episode. So good. I mean, for half of the last act, she's acting opposite a voice out of a computer, right? And yet you can't take your eyes off her. She's really, really good. She's a really smart actor.
So, Joe, you're going Remember Me.
Well, have we come to the vote yet?
Oh, well, we're
debating
and
currently.
voting.
Are we voting?
Should we reveal the listener vote?
Oh, let's do the big reveal. Yeah, the big reveal in the listener.
So we had a total of 22 listeners vote, and it was 19-3 for Remember Me.
I thought we only had 5 listeners.
We have at least 22.
Somebody voted twice.
At least 22.
Well, let's see. If we don't count all the hosts of the other shows, that takes us down to our 3 listeners, yes.
I logged in with all my other Facebook accounts and voted.
I didn't think you actually voted. I thought you put off the vote.
I did not vote either. Did not vote.
I did not vote either.
Didn't think it would be fair as a host to vote.
Yeah.
Spoil the surprise.
So Joe, as you're saying, I think you're right. The science definitely balance out. Like the science in both of them is really cool. Like we said, that dark matter and how it reminded me of the Orville. And of course, Beverly caught in her own universe is amazing. So yeah, the science and maybe a little bit edge to Remember Me, I would say. But for me, my vote has to go to Remember Me because of the importance of the Star Trek canon and the Traveler. And like I said, we get the Traveler in season 1, then we get him at the midway season 4, and then we get him again at season 7. So that thread, even though it is only 3 episodes, is so prevalent in the Crusher storyline. I think it's brilliant. I love what they did, and I love the interest with Wesley and him maybe being something more. Like it's just all wrapped up into their own little static work bubble and their own little universe. I just absolutely love it. I really think, as far as, like you were saying, actors and acting goes, for Brent Spiner and Gates McFadden, I think they both do an excellent job. I just think that the story is a little bit better with Remember Me.
No, I think you're right. Yeah, Brent Spiner does do a terrific job with really bad material.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
you're right. And Gates McFadden isn't given material like this very often, and she knocks it out of the park.
No.
Yeah. I think I gave it away earlier when I said this is one of my all-time favorite episodes, so I got to vote for Remember Me too.
I think we should start
It's
a petition.
unanimous.
We start a petition to Paramount asking for more Gates McFadden-led TNG episodes.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
And she's the only
Season
one of
8,
the main
season
cast who
8.
doesn't appear in another show ever. I want more Gates.
Yeah.
I want more.
True. Picard season 2.
Let's hope. Well, I
So
think...
I have decided not to vote on this one
What?
because I haven't actually formally voted
That's
yet.
true.
Okay, Joe.
Okay, so I'm not going to vote.
You're
I
abstaining?
am going to. I am going to gift my vote to my dear and beautiful friend Christos Genaris, who I imagine will vote for Remember Me. So, vote goes to Remember Me. Love you, Christos.
Awesome. So that means it's unanimous. Amy, Christos, and I are all voting for Remember Me.
We are. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know if people will be surprised by this, but the
No.
the listener vote showed that it was a 19-3 in favor of that episode as well. So
Pierre might be angry,
Pierre-
but not surprised.
Yep.
Sorry,
yeah,
Pierre.
sorry, Pierre.
Yeah.
Boring. I don't know how you could think it was boring. She's like hanging off a chair and being
Sideways.
sucked into it. Yeah, so good. She did her own stunts.
I wish she would have gone through though. I just wish. I'm like, let go. I'm screaming at the TV.
No, Pierre, there's nothing wrong with Beverly. It's something wrong with the universe. Goodness sake.
Something wrong with you.
Oh,
That's how you're reading it.
Oh.
Oh,
Don't
I'm
insult the
yeah,
listeners,
we just
Amy.
Lost a listener. Oh my goodness.
We've now got 4.
Pierre knows I love him.
Well, coming up in our next Batleth battle, we will be looking at 2 season 1 episodes. Everyone's favorite.
I can't even
season.
believe how this works out. I'm sorry, but the math of this is just amazing. How this week we had 2 season 4, and then our next Batleth battle 2 season
This is
1s.
true.
Come on.
Well, it's just the way it is. Random. So we've got Coming of Age, season 1, episode 18, and Justice, season 1, episode 7.
What is coming of age?
Coming of Age. As Wesley Crusher faces the Starfleet Academy entrance exam on Relva 6-7, representatives from Starfleet Command conduct an exhaustive investigation into Captain Picard and the Enterprise D crew.
That's a good one. But yeah, obviously we forget.
So
Remick.
No one
It's the
forgets
first time you see
Justice.
Remick,
no
isn't it?
one forgets Justice. Yes. Yeah,
Right?
Remick is in this episode.
And it's both Wesley episodes?
They are both Wesley episodes.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Incoming transmission.
Well, like I said earlier, we would love to hear your thoughts about today's show, and we hope that you will join the Facebook group Federation Council Chambers. You are welcome to start conversations with us or add any general Star Trek info you want to share with the group.
If you'd like to send us an email, you can email the show at galaxyclass@ufp.earth, and we might read your email on the
We have our own email address now, guys. Yay!
Yay! So it will come directly to us. Yes. Well, please hit the subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts so you won't miss any of our shows. And leave us a star rating and written review. That helps others to find us. You can also follow the entire network's podcast with our master feed by searching United Federation of Podcasts. This way you won't miss any of our fine shows like All Good Things, Franchise Fatigue, Always Hold On to Arrow, General Quarters, Mickey's Marvels, Infinite Diversity, and Trek Pod. So, Joe, where can people find you when you are searching for new running shoes?
Well, I wish the shops were open here, but they're all closed, so probably Amazon, like the place in Brazil. Yeah, but when I'm not doing that, you can tweet me on the Twitter at JoeyJoe77UK. You can email me, joepodcasts@gmail.com, or you can find me in the Federation Council Chambers. And Kevin, where can people find you when you're not stuck in a static warp bubble?
Well, I try very hard to avoid getting stuck in static warp bubbles, so if I'm not in one, you can find me on a couple of other podcasts I do, True North Nerds, where we talk about general nerdity, and Stage Whispers, the local theater podcast, where we talk about what's going on in live theater in Central Ontario. And Amy, where can people find you when you're trying to avoid a lover's quarrel?
Well, you can find me here on the network where I'm hosting All Good Things, which is about all of Star Trek. As mentioned earlier, Union Federation podcast, which talks about the Orville and Star Trek. You can find me on Twitter at Miss Amy Nelson, but my favorite place right there, Federation Council Chambers.
Priority 1 message from Starfleet coming in on secured channel.
If you'd like to help us keep all of our shows coming to you each week, you can become a patron of the network on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/UFPEarth to get all the details. And we would just love any support you could give us.
We'd like to recognise our executive producers Brandon Shea Mutala, Ken Tripp, Zach Moore and Tony Robinson. We'd also like to thank Zach Tripp for our opening and closing music and Tony Robinson for our amazing artwork.
Thank you for beaming aboard the Galaxy class. And until next time,
great joy and gratitude.
Deanna Troy, your ship's counsellor, half-betazoid, loved chocolate. The arrival of her mother makes you shudder. O'Brien, Geordie, Worf, Wesley, my son. They have been the living, breathing heart of this crew for over 3 years. They deserve more than to be shrugged off, brushed aside, just pinched out of existence like that. They all do. They deserve so much more.
I won't forget. I won't forget any of you.
Engage.
This has been a production of MTMR Media Works.